Hello and good day. I am Joseph F. Morkov from Bicol Regional Science High School, and this time I'll be presenting splicing and jointing. For the objectives of this lesson, students should familiarize with the different types of splice and joints. Second, to be able to make the different types of splices and joints, and to be able to know the different uses of splices and joints. So at the end of this lesson, after this presentation, students will be making or will be doing a simple splices and joints using a simple materials. Electrical malfunctions cause more than 50,000 house fires each year. That's according to Electrical Safety Foundation International. The majority can be prevented. Yes, it can be prevented. To protect your own home, start by checking your fuse box or breaker panel for the date of your last inspection. Most municipalities requires an inspection only when a system is modified during renovation or an addition. However, the Consumer Product Safety Commission recommends having a pro loop thing over every 10 years. Beyond that, be aware of these potential sources and causes of electrical fires. As a student in electrical installation and maintenance, you should acquire the important knowledge and skills in wire splices and joints, and should be familiar with the actual application of every splice and joints. This serves as your tool in performing actual wiring installation. Of course, another factor is the knowledge in interpreting and analyzing the wiring diagram, especially if the circuit is complicated. The following are common electrical wire splices and joints. So these are the common types of splices and joints. We have 10 splices and joints, namely, we have the rat tail, or we call that one the pigtail. We have also Y splice. Third, we have the knotted top, and we have the plain top joint. We also have aerial top. The next one is the duplex cross joint. We also have the Western Union short and long tie splices. We have the cross joint, and we have the wrap top, or we call that one the T joint. What are these splices and joints? Let's discuss this one by one. The first is the rat tail, or we call this one the pigtail. This is a kind of joint that is commonly used to join two or more conductors inside the junction box. It is suitable for service where there is no mechanical stress when wires are to be connected in an outlet box, switch, or conduit fitting. So the wire is just twisted, or the wires rather are just twisted. Second, we have the Y splice. This method of wrapping is generally used on small cables because the strands are flexible and all can be wrapped in one operation. As you see, the wires form the symbol Y. The next one, we have the knotted top. In the knotted top, we use two different wires. The main wire, to which wire is to be topped, has about 1 inch of insulation removed, as you see in the picture. The branch wire is stripped off about 3 inches of insulation. The branch wire is laid behind the main wire. About 3/4 of the bare portion of the branch wire extends above the main wire. The branch wire is brought under the main wire around itself, and then over the main wire to form a knot. The branch wire is then wrapped around the main conductor in short, tight turns, and the end is trimmed off. The knotted top is used where the splice is subject to strain or slippage. The next one is we have the plain top. What is this plain top? This is usually used where the top wire is under considerable tensile stress circuit. To make the joint, skin the top wire about 2 inches and the main wire about 1 inch. Next, the wires are crossed, intersecting about 1/4 inch from the insulation of the top wire and the main wire. And then a hook or sharp bends is then made in a top and about 5 or 6 turns wound around the main wire. So that's the plain top wire as you see in the picture. So just the second wire is wrapped around the main wire. The next one is, we call this one the area top or the aerial top. It is similar to the previous one, which is the plain top wire. So as you see the difference between the two, the plain top is this one and the aerial one is this one. They are just almost similar. This is used as a temporary top usually done in construction sites. Why? Because the easy twist will facilitate the top wire movement. The next is the duplex cross joint. This is a two top wire turned simultaneously and is used where the two top wire is under heavy tensile. So this time we'll be using three different wires. So we have here the main wire horizontally, and we have two wires, this one and this one, wrapped all together to form the duplex cross joint. The next one is we have the Western Union long tie splice, as you see in this one or in the picture. As you see in the picture, this is the most widely used splicer joint in interior wiring installation to extend the length of wire from one point to another. Similarly, the Western Union long tie splice looks like this one in the image. This is used also extensively for outside wiring to extend also the length of wire from one end to another. So see the difference between the long tie splice and the short tie splice? Almost they are just the same, only that this one is shorter. The wire that is wrapped to one another is shorter than this one. So the wires are wrapped to one another in a long type one. The next one is we have the cross joint. What is this cross joint? Similar to the other splices and joints that we discussed earlier or that we presented earlier, in this time we will be using also three different wires. So we have here the horizontal wire. So we have here the main wire, and we have here the secondary and the third wire. So the same application is done as in plain top, and the only difference is that this top is a combination of two plain tops placed side by side with each other. The last one is we have the wrap top, or we call this one the T joint. This is used usually on a large solid conductor where it is difficult to wrap the heavy top wire around the main wire. You can see this one in electrical main lines. So there you have it. We have the different types of splices and joints. Now for the lesson activity, we'll be having splices and joints. We'll be using the following materials and tools. We have the THHN solid wire, probably gauge or number 2.0 or 1.5. We'll also be using a plier cutter and a utility plier. The next presentation will be the demonstration of splices and joints using the following materials. Hello and welcome to the second part of our lesson, which is the splices and joints. What you are about to witness is the making of some of the 10 types of splices and joints. First is we need to start with the pigtail. That is the first type of splices and joints presented in the earlier lesson or discussion. Now, what do we need for this activity are the following. We have the plier cutter. We need that one. We also have the utility plier, and we have the THHN gauge number 2.0, or I guess this is 1.5 if I'm not mistaken. We all know that the pigtail, we need two wires for that. Okay, what we're going to do is let's cut this wire maybe in half. We'll be needing, let's cut this one in four. Okay, so we need this one. I guess this is enough. Let's cut this in half again because we need two wires in this activity. Okay, how do we do the pigtail? So first is we have to remove the outer coating of the wires, both the wires. So we have to expose at least 1.5 or 2 inches of the wire. So using plier cutter and our utility plier, we can remove the outer coating of the wire. As easy as that. As you see, the outer coating of the wire is already removed. Now let's remove the next one. Okay. So with the help of these tools, the plier cutter and the utility plier, we can instantly, without effort, remove the outer coating or the insulation material of a wire. Now that we have the two wires with the outer coating removed, what we need to do is we have to twist the wire to one another. So we have to form a cross like this one. With the aid of our utility plier, we can hold both the wires like that and twist. You can make use of your hand to twist the wire like this one. Okay. For the last part, because I guess it will be difficult for us to twist with our own bare hands, or maybe it will be difficult for us to twist the last part, we may need the help of the plier cutter and twist the wire like this one. So as easy as that. So what do we have here now is we have the first type of splices and joints, which is the pigtail, or we call this one rat tail. Okay? I hope you can do this with your own materials, in your own or in the comfort of your homes, because this will be your last task for this lesson. Okay? Now, let's do the other one. Okay, the next thing that we are going to do is the plain top joint. Okay, so what we need is, again, two wires, THHN 2.0 or 1.5 wire. So I already have here the pre-cut of the two wires for the plain top joints. What I did was I removed the inner part of the insulation material of the first wire. So you can make use of the plier cutter and you can make use of your utility plier in order to remove the outer coating of this wire. And also the next or the secondary wire, you are to remove almost half of the insulation material. Okay? Okay. If you already removed the outer coating of the insulation material, what you need to do is twist this one to the first wire. So the second wire, you have to put it like this one here and twist. You can make use of your hand, or maybe let's use the utility plier to hold this one here and twist the, okay, so let's do this one. Okay, so after twisting, we can hold using utility plier and twist this one like what I am doing. Okay, okay. Okay. So with the help of those pliers, the utility plier and the plier cutter, we now have the plain top joint. Okay. So as you see, so with the help of those tools, the plier cutter and the utility plier, we already have the plain top joint. Okay. So you can do it in the comfort of your house. Now you can do it in the comfort of your homes using the following materials. Okay, I hope you've learned something from this presentation and this demonstration on how to do splices and joints. Okay, thank you very much. So that's for today's lesson about splices and joints and presentation on how to do splices and joints. So thank you very much. I hope you learned something from this lesson and have a good day.